What's up guys, today we're going to be doing a range test with the dual battery 3000 watt shunt modded wired cruiser. In this video you can watch me take an extended ride with mixed riding styles at different speeds, top speeds, low speeds, and watch me mess around with my camera as I learn how to use it through the selfie stick falling down, or even me forgetting my entire bag with my wallet and camera gear on a bench as I drive away from it. But feel free to skip through all of that as this video is very long, and I'm not going to be one of those annoying YouTubers in this particular video and tell you wait till the end, you can see the range at the end. This video is very long, I don't expect you to wait till the very end. Here's the actual range that I got. Let's jump right into the ending stats. After a 40-mile ride and letting the battery rest for a few minutes, the battery voltage for both batteries ended at 58 volts. So now let's take a look at the data from the ride. As you could see, it was just about 40 miles with an average speed of 22 miles an hour. It took me almost 2 hours to complete. Maxing out my speed at 43 miles an hour. The speed was all over the place throughout the ride. As I mentioned, this was going to be mixed riding. Elevation also all over the place with a mixed range and a big hill in the middle where you see that spike. This is one of the reasons why it's so hard to give a number for the range of a particular e-bike, because there are so many variables that factor into the range, including rider weight, wind, weather, temperature, and obviously elevation and speed. Overall, the range expected from this dual battery system with mixed riding is about 60 miles. And of course, you'll get a lot more if you do a lot more pedaling and you go a lot slower. But that's what I got with this video. Feel free to watch it. Again, skip around if you want. It's a very long video, almost an hour long. But yeah, guys, check this out. Hope you guys enjoy. What's up, guys? It is a beautiful day today in New England. It's going to be in the mid-70s and sunny today, and it's a perfect time to test out the rebuilt wired cruiser dual battery 45 amp hours 60 volt system peaking at 3000 watts. I did the shunt mod, I redid it, so it's just over 51 amps, which at 60 volts gives you 3000 watts. And I just took the batteries off the charger. They are freshly charged. We're at 66.8 volts combined batteries, and we're gonna do our hill climb right away. The standard moderate hill climb. I'm gonna compare this time to the 4000 watt or 3500 watt shunt mod as well, and the stock, and we'll see what the difference is. It'll be good for you guys to know and good for me to know. So without further ado, hill climb test freshly charged. 3, 2, 1, go. Look at that power. Oh my goodness. Dear Lord, we're at 30 miles an hour and we're not even at the end. Oh my God. Wow. I am so impressed with this bike. This bike is my main squeeze, my baby. I'm so happy to have it rebuilt. And what we're gonna do today is do a little bit of a range test as well. So we're at 439 miles. We're gonna do about like 30 to 40 miles today of mixed riding, top speed and slow speed, flat and hills, starting with that hill climb, of course. And that way you guys can get an idea of what your experience might be like if you ever build a setup like this. Because who knows, maybe you're interested, maybe you're thinking about getting the Freedom, and then you see this and you realize, wow, the dual batteries really fits nicely into the cruiser step-through cavity, and you decide to get this instead. And who knows, maybe you just get a suspension seat post and call it a day, and you'll get plenty of suspension, not as much as the Freedom, but it'll feel pretty good. However, you'll get a really nice dual battery setup as well, because what a lot of people do is they'll put a second battery on the rear rack, and what I've heard is that that actually adds too much weight to the back. And what ends up happening, I don't know exactly what function of physics gives you this problem, but the front wheel will start to wobble at higher speeds. because there's too much weight in the back. And so this setup, having weight in the center, having the battery weight in the middle, eliminates a lot of those issues. Because I can go 40 miles an hour right now and there's zero wobble. And before we continue on, we're gonna switch apps to make sure it can track my elevation during this this ride, because I want to see that data in addition to my speed data. Again, it's good for you guys to know, it's good for me to know. We'll try and get all the data. I'll let you guys know what voltage everything is at. I actually did a it's a funny story. So I'm testing out a new camera and microphone setup. Let me know how it sounds, how it looks. But it's an Insta360. It's mounted to the front of my helmet, and I have the DJI wireless microphone mounted to the chin of the helmet. And I actually did a 30-mile range test with this bike already earlier this week. And I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I did a bunch of talking. We're gonna get some great footage, get some top speed footage, some hill climbing footage, etc. And I looked at the camera footage, and it turns out that I, by mistake, recorded all the footage recording at my neck, because these cameras, they can do single lens mode, and I was using the wrong lens. It was recording my neck instead of the road, and I was so frustrated. All right, here we go. Top speed, downhill. 43, 44, 45. All right, we'll back off. I don't want to. The motor won't help you faster than 45 anyways, but that's when I start getting sketched out. I don't really want to go faster than that. Brakes feel nice, these 203mm rotors. And so I recorded a bunch of footage aimed straight at my neck. I was like, oh my God, it's ridiculous. And so I triple checked this time around to make sure I'm recording the right way, so you guys can actually see what I'm seeing. And that's fine, because I want to test this bike out along with get some good footage. We want to, stress test it a bit to see if it's reliable, because the last stress test I did with the 4,000 watt mod, it messed up the motor. There was one wire that got disconnected. I'm still unsure if it got too hot or not. I think the solder at that point was too weak. However, if the solder weakened, that means it got really hot in there. And I just realized I did forget my thermal camera, but that's okay, because we'll do the testing for that later. I might get some more footage later and record another video. The motor on the thermal camera from the 4,000 watt, wow, my voice cracked, from the 4,000 watt shunt mod, the exterior of the motor, the part that you can see, the housing, got to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And I don't know how hot the middle got. My guess is it was probably at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe more, I'm not sure. You guys let me know if you're if you know more about thermodynamics and engineering than I do. But we're gonna do some mixed riding today and just see how things go. We're not gonna speed demon it the whole time. This is also a range test for mixed riding. See what kind of range you guys are gonna get. And I actually ride faster than most people, I would say. I've seen some people get crazy ranges, and that means they're doing most of the work with their legs, not the motor. I actually do like to go fast. Like, my average speed, we'll look at the end, but my average speed is usually like somewhere between like 25 to 30 miles an hour, somewhere around there. So we'll see how this goes. 45 amp hours at 60 volts is 2,700 watt hours. That's amazing. And so I'm really happy about this bike. I have very low range anxiety, and the dual batteries are almost necessary when you have this much power pulling from the batteries, because otherwise it would just eat up the stock battery so quick especially if you go fast like me. So having that extra secondary quote-unquote gas tank is really nice for range and range anxiety. With the 3,000 watts, this bike is at 30 miles an hour almost instantly. And I'm pedaling right now, if you guys can see, not too fast. We're easily maintaining 38, slight downhill, going 39 right here. I could take the whole lane, 41. Look at that, we're maintaining 41 miles an hour. That's the power of 3,000 watts, guys. And I can get a little bit of a workout in too, which is nice. The 60-tooth chain ring helps a lot. Makes the pedaling so much more comfortable at higher speeds. Otherwise, you're just moving your legs like a hamster. Way too fast. 60 teeth on the front chain ring feels really nice. I think it's the best place to be with a fast bike like this. Unless you don't want to pedal at all, that's fine too. I like pedaling. I like being involved in the experience. It makes it a little bit more fun for me. And I actually get a workout. I was pedaling hard during my ride this past Sunday when I recorded all that backwards footage, and my legs are actually sore from that. I was pedaling really hard at certain points, and I enjoy that. You can burn some extra calories, and help save some battery. So on that point, if you guys are looking for a purely throttle only range test, I can't give you that today, but I guess you could say this is a real world range test. Let's say you're riding the bike like a bicycle. You're pedaling, you're going at mixed speeds, you're not just going on flat ground, full speed all the way. Real world scenarios. So we'll see where we are. See how it goes. I put new tires on. I'll leave a link to everything in the description below in case you guys are interested. But they are so quiet. They're so much smoother than the stock tires, and they're so quiet. I don't intend to take this thing off-roading. This is mostly the kind of riding I do on the streets. If I do take it off-roading, it's a light gravel trail, a light dirt trail. Nothing crazy that requires off-road tires. I'm never taking this thing on the beach or anything like that. Never in the mud. So I think these tires are perfect. I like being able to see all the elevation data. I gotta get a map. I'll probably reluctantly sign up for Strava and pay for it to get all the advanced stuff, so I can see all the data of where I'm riding, how I'm riding, what the hills are like, what the elevation gain is, and then also add that app. I think it's called Relive, which is another monthly fee. But I think it's worth it. What I'm doing with this channel is whatever I'm earning, for now at least, I'm putting back into the channel. Just with this camera and microphone set alone, it was $1,000. Plus a bunch of equipment that you guys will see in a little bit for selfie sticks, external mounts, accessories. That's another like, what, $200? So a lot of the stuff that I'm earning from this channel, I just put straight back into the channel for now. I want you guys to have interesting footage, interesting videos to look at. I always think, what would I want to watch? What kind of videos would I want to see? And I try and make those. And for now, that strategy seems to be working out. Sometimes it doesn't, because as a YouTuber, you have to think like your audience, not like yourself. A lot of the things that YouTubers struggle with is you'll make a video and you'll spend a lot of time working on it, and you'll think it's the best video ever, and it doesn't get any views. and then you'll make a low effort video and you think, ah, whatever, this is a low effort video, but I'll just throw it out there, get some kind of content out there, right? And it gets a ton of views. And so you always struggle with that as a YouTuber, but that's the game. And these companies now, these e-bike companies, I'm very grateful that they're reaching out, they're sending me bikes to review, they're sending me products to review. Very grateful for that. Those videos, some people don't like them. Sometimes it's some kind of like cheap, no-name Chinese brand e-bike. Those videos, they pay the bills, and the bills let you buy stuff like new cameras, new microphones. So those are almost like a necessary evil. And I know some YouTubers, they're tired of reviewing them. They want to review only like special bikes like this or Surons and stuff like that. But I'll do those other bikes because I know why they're there. They pay the bills. They put food on the table, so to speak. I get it. And it's still fun. It's nice to check out what the technology is like out there, what everyone has to offer. It's one thing to see it online. It's another thing to experience it in the real world. So again, I am pedaling the whole time. I feel like I'm involved in this experience. I'm not a Mr. Throttle only kind of guy. Shout out to Big Tito with his aerial rider Kepler videos. I like to pedal. Even if it's not adding a lot of power, I still feel like I'm doing something, and it adds to how much fun I am having. All right, so we're at this trail now. And we're just gonna take our time. We're not gonna go too crazy fast on this trail unless there's no one on it. Like if I get a clearing, there's no way in hell I'm just gonna go 10 miles an hour. But if there's people around, we're gonna keep it around 15 miles an hour. When you're passing people, you don't wanna fly by them and scare everyone. And then e-bikers get a bad name. And then you start seeing signs of no e-bikes allowed. These tires are so quiet. I love it. Bring it down to PAS1. Throttle a little bit if I need it. The other day when I took a ride on this trail, it was just a different section of this trail. I saw a lot of e-bikes, which I'm very happy to see. It's good to see more and more e-bikes out here. Yeah, pedal assist 1. Pedaling with this bike feels great for trails that might have a bunch of people on it. Like this feels fine, very tame. I really like powerful e-bikes that look like bicycles still. So like if you saw this, all right, so we just got 5 miles, the GPS is telling me. If you saw this bike, you'd think it's just some kind of bicycle on steroids, but it's still a bicycle. However, once you start looking at the moped style bikes and the Surons, the word motorcycle starts flashing in your mind. And that's what we want to try and avoid, especially for the police, as they start cracking down more and more on these e-bikes. And we all know that they will eventually. They don't know how many watts you're running, and they're less likely to care if your bicycle looks like a bicycle, or if your e-bike looks like a bicycle, versus if it looks like a moped. And so that's my theory, at least. We'll see how it goes. What a nice day. Such beautiful weather. We got some e-bikers here and normal bikes. I think those are e-bikes. Nice. That's exciting. All right, we're just gonna ride a little bit. You guys will see the data later in the images that I'll post up in terms of what my ride looked like, what the speed was like, what the elevation was like, but I want to try and save some battery footage and just ride for now. and just chill. So catch up with you guys in a little bit. So with this new camera, we can do cool shots like this. Let's see what it looks like. And with the microphone, you guys can still hear my annoying voice. All right, so we're at about 450 miles total from the last 440 that we did. So did about 10 miles or so. Now let's keep going. And let's hope that my camera mount holds up, because I tried a bunch of different products and it's actually really hard to mount a selfie stick at awkward angles on the bike. You'd think it's easy, but you need some extremely strong mounts, because the leverage that the camera has on the mount, because of how long the selfie stick is it's pretty intense. So you need some extremely strong mounts, especially if you want it to be reusable. I've seen people that mount things just with zip ties, and obviously that'll hold, but then you got to undo zip ties, cut them, use new zip ties. So I'm using a bunch of different actually using two different types of mounting arms. One is the Insta360 motorcycle mount, because it has rubberized grips at the ball ends, which help a lot with keeping tension in the mount, and a secondary metal arm that holds it at another point, because you need that second mount if you're going to mount a selfie stick. There's no way around it. You 100% need it. This trail is beautiful. Fall time is amazing. The leaves up here in New England. So give you guys a quick voltage readout. We're at 64 volts. We went 10 miles. Hard riding. Well, I would say mixed riding, but my average speed, according to my phone, it just told me was about 23 miles an hour. So we're gonna keep on going. Trying to give you guys some interesting things to look at with the new camera angles. I don't want to just keep doing the POV views only. We want to switch it up, make it interesting. If there is a stretch of road or a stretch of this trail that has no pedestrians, we'll do a top speed test also. And I'll just yell out what the top speed actually is. But it's probably going to be cool to see from this angle. The downside about these videos where you can see me riding is that I actually have to look half decent. I can't just throw on some shorts that have paint on them from renovations, some old t-shirt, and some Crocs and make a video. I actually have to put something decent to look at, because if you guys see me with the other stuff, with the other clothing, I would just look like a Sasquatch, disheveled Sasquatch. So I gotta be decently put together for these videos now. But that's fine, that'll hold me accountable. Ice cream parlor. Don't get any ideas, Alex. You already had pizza last night. Don't do it. That's fine. We can come on the way back. I don't know if we will or not. We're past it now. I don't feel like turning around. Tires are so quiet. I love this. People actually don't hear me coming anymore. Before, with the other tires, you can hear them roaring, especially at higher speeds. They cannot hear you coming this time around. Selfie stick seems to be holding up okay. I don't know how it would do in heavier off-roading situations, but right now going about 20 miles an hour, minor bumps in the trail, seems to be okay. And this is a pretty interesting view. I did try the GTA rear view before. Selfie stick isn't long enough for that. I might buy the extended one, but we'll see. So yeah, we're just going 20 miles an hour. The wattage readout on this display is inaccurate now that it did the shunt mod, because it thinks there's a different amount of amps going through it than there actually is. I essentially tricked the controller into pushing more amps through it based on how much solder you put on the shunts. And I did measure everything out to make sure it came out at just about 50 amps, a little bit over 50 amps. The stock controller actually pulled 41 amps. And you can measure all of that with a clamp meter. I'll show you guys a video of that later. Let's get back to the original motor. So the original motor has a blue wire that disconnected, and I think I can fix it. And if I fix it, I have a perfectly good motor that I could, in theory, throw in the front. I would just need a new set of those planetary gears, right? The metal reinforced ones, and a new wheel that has the motor housing laced in. I already have an extra controller because I got one thinking that my controller was burnt out, but I was wrong. The controller that I modded with a bunch of heat sinks and everything works just fine. I would say it's probably better than the stock one because of all the cooling modifications I made. And I actually even opened up, I put a foam mesh so nothing gets in, nothing can crawl in, but put a foam mesh on the end of each side of the controller. And at the ends of the controller housing, there's an air intake and an exhaust. And the exhaust is covered with, I guess you could say, a splash guard. So I would say this bike is less waterproof now, but it can withstand, you know, random splashes here and there just to make sure water doesn't get into your controller. Definitely far from waterproof. However, I'm never riding this bike if there's even a chance of rain, mostly because I don't want to ride in the rain. I never want to ride in the rain. Check this out. So there's a little bit of water right here. We'll just slow it down mostly so I don't splash myself with my wheels, even though I will get a little bit on me. But bike still works. Water isn't in the controller, even though I know it splashed all over the housing. But I covered it in such a way that it protects it. See, more water and bumps. More water. Bike works just fine. You're welcome. I feel myself getting splashed on the neck. Let's switch up the camera angles again. Let's get a front view. I'm out here testing the bike in addition to testing this camera setup because I want something reliable for reviews and future footage. Here we go. More puddles. It rained a ton this weekend and there's just water flowing everywhere. There's a river nearby that's raging. Normally it's pretty peaceful, but it's raging because of all that water and the rain from earlier. All right, when we get to the next bench, we'll switch camera angles. I'm sure these people are looking at me like, what is this random pole sticking out of this guy's bike? What is it, like a radio antenna or something?
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
A few moments later.
Oh my god. So it looks like you guys are gonna get some extra footage because I forgot my backpack on this bench. I had to race back. I had my wallet in it and everything. I was getting off to change camera angles and I realized, wait a minute. I am missing something. My whole backpack was gone. So we raced back. And the bag was right there, thankfully. This is a nice neighborhood. Nobody's gonna steal anything. But now, we're going back. You guys are gonna get some extra footage. I think this camera is a little too high. Let's lower it. Let's tighten this whole contraption down. I'm so happy I got my backpack back. And I'm kind of pissed at myself. You know, sometimes lessons are painful, and sometimes they're not as painful, but they're almost like shots across the bow, so to speak, you know? And this was a shot across the bow. Don't forget your shit. Well, check this out, guys. We get to enjoy this beautiful day again. We get to enjoy this section of trail again from a different angle. Lucky you guys. Something else I figured out is I cannot use a GoPro mount at the end of this selfie stick because the Insta360 camera just ends up moving, and so I know a lot of the footage that I shot before is going to be bad anyways because What's cool about this camera, it has an invisible selfie stick mode, and it makes it look like a drone is following you. Look at that. My selfie stick just lowered by itself because I didn't tighten it. See, all these little things that testing is important for. I know this is, I'm out here making a video for the wired cruiser, but it's also important, it's also a good opportunity to test all your stuff. Because then you encounter issues like this, where you're forgetting backpacks, and your selfie sticks are collapsing. Oh my God. Or you're recording the complete wrong way on your camera. Always something, guys. It's always something. Give you guys a quick battery readout. 63 volts still. Ooh, this is tall. That was risky business. That selfie stick sticking out pretty far in that tunnel. Mileage wise, so we started at 440 and we're at just about 15 miles, so 455.5. 15 miles, the battery is 62 volts. Alright, so we got some bumps on this pathway now. Let's see how the selfie stick and the camera handles it. And we got a couple water crossings because I did this whole thing Sunday and I just did it all again. I'm doing it a third time, so I know there's a little bit of water. And we go slow through those just to make sure I don't get a lot of splashing on my back because I don't have fenders, I took those off. And so my controller doesn't get drenched also. But regardless, it has splash guards, so I know no water will get in. This fall weather is beautiful, it feels great. Prime time bike riding weather. Look at that, my selfie stick is still going down. I forgot to tighten it. This takes practice, guys, this YouTube stuff. Takes practice. And we're back. Alright, handled that bump pretty well. As far as future mods go for this bike, I was at one point thinking about adding a second motor. I really don't know if that's necessary because I can go 40 miles an hour on this thing, especially if I pedal hard. I will definitely go 40. And I don't know if I want to go faster than that on a bike. It has plenty of power. 3,000 watts on a geared hub motor. The torque is tremendous. All right, so we got a little bit of water coming up here. And we're gonna go nice and slow through this. I don't splash myself. Oh, we got a headlight coming up there. Maybe that's an e-biker. Bumps. Yeah, the selfie stick mount is pretty good. The system's got 2 arms. Work pretty well. I'm impressed. I think we have a winner, although once again the selfie stick is dropping down. Somehow it just wants to drop down. Maybe I just don't tighten it enough. It's still gonna look good. That's the beauty of the 360 footage, is that you can reuse the footage over and over and over again because it has different angles. You know what? Let's just keep it like this. There you go. How about that, Mr. Camera? Let's just keep it like this. Get a little close-up over the shoulder view so you could see my ugly face. But I can always turn it around and aim it straight ahead, and you guys can get kind of like a my point of view video as well. Maybe I should just film like this the whole time so you guys can see me and you can see the road, but then you can't see the handlebars, you can't see the speedometer, so it's good to switch it up, you know. Yeah, so I'm using a cycling app, Samsung Health, to track my distance. It says we're at 16.62 miles, and I did turn that on maybe after about half a mile. So let's say we're at 17 miles. The battery is at 63 volts. Maybe I should give you guys a top speed run from this view. That'd look kind of cool, huh? I'll call out the speed. How about that? Speedometer is pretty accurate. If I get a straight stretch of road, we'll go fast. We'll pedal hard. Right now we're going 27. Not a lot of people because it's a weekday. Yeah, we're a little bit windy up there. I just don't want to run into anyone or get anyone angry. I'm trying to be a nice human being and not pass people at 40 miles an hour. 26 miles an hour, just cruising. Yeah, see, I see a stretch of road, but there's people. Let's try and catch up anyways. 33, 34, 37, 39, 40. See, I saw 41 flash for a second. That's the power of 3,000 watts and a 62 chainring. And you get a little bit of cardio. Pedaling hard. Yeah, I don't want to go that. I don't know if I need to go faster than 41. If I put a second motor on this thing, it would just be an animal. It would, for hill climbing, it would blow everything out of the water. It would definitely be stronger, faster acceleration, and more top speed than the Citizen Cycle. This thing would easily probably top out at 45 miles an hour. But that's not, you know, it's not really worth it. That's a lot of work for an extra couple miles an hour. I just don't think it's worth it, my opinion. We're about to get to a nice looking area of a nearby town. And so we're gonna re-extend the selfie stick. See, to get off this bike, you do have to tilt it because it is now not a step through. You guys can do some leaf peeping. With the mods that this bike has, if you like going between 25 and 35 miles an hour, this bike is perfect. I'll leave a link. I'll leave a list of all the links of all the stuff I put on this bike in case you guys are interested. Some stuff you can't just get from Amazon, like I had to talk to Unit Power Pack to get the second battery pack. They customized it to my specifications because I told them which BMS I want, which cells I want, how many amp hours I wanted, etc. And so they were helpful with that. And so far the batteries have been working great. And some stuff I had to get from AliExpress because I literally could not find it anywhere else. So for example, the chain guards that the bike comes with, it was not on Amazon. So I had to go on AliExpress, the guards for the 60-tooth chainring. Nice little bridge. I'll give you guys some 360 footage of the bridge. Getting all these looks like, what the hell is this stick sticking out of this guy's bike for? Kind of bizarre looking. Alright, we're gonna switch the camera back to the helmet mount, because I think we can get you guys another top speed run.
19.01 miles. Current speed 13 miles per hour.
Alright, we're back. Let's just undo the selfie stick. See, I have no anxiety about making it back to my destination. Even when we're going about 20 miles one direction with a 3,000 watt power hungry e-bike. Just have so much battery on me. Not as much as the, what is it, the Anioki battery, the Anioki e-bike that has 60 amp hours, 48 volts. That'll go really far, but this will also go fast. And you want, ideally, both far and fast. We'll keep it on this trail. Nice looking trail. Look at this. Gorgeous. Hope you guys can see this. Busy road crossing. So I like being on trails more than these kinds of roads. I don't have to worry about cars, at least on the weekdays. The trails are relatively empty. Don't have to worry about cars flying by, anything crazy like that. Nice police officer. Stopping when no one else does. So this next top speed run that we're gonna try and do is going to be pedaling as hard as I can. We're not at full voltage. We're maybe at like, I don't know, 75%, 61, 62 volts. So it just said I finished 20 miles. And we're at 75% battery. Pretty amazing. And you can see my speed. I'm not going like 15 miles an hour. I'm going almost 30. We are not slugging it along. We're getting a good amount of speed. Alright, so this next part of the trail is usually relatively empty. I know there's a couple street crossings coming up, so we'll get past those. And then we're gonna go full blast. There we go. So I see another like metal post thing in the middle. But we're gonna start to speed up now. Full power. Let's go. Pedal hard. 35, 36, 38, 39, 40. Alright, we're holding at 40. That's awesome, guys. It's so cool to go that fast. Especially because most bikes pedaling hard top out at like, I don't know, 32, 33, 34. Whew. But my legs are working. Cardio is pumping for sure. But this is what I mean by mixed riding. Top speed, big hills, flat ground, moderate speed. This is probably what you'll encounter in real life. We're about to get off the trail and go up a big long hill. And that's where potentially these motors with the shunt mods can be damaged because you're pumping lots of amps into the motor for a good period of time. So we'll get a bit of a head start. Such a nice day. Here we go, here's that hill. Pedaling hard. 25. Gear, what, 4? Pedal, 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 pedal. I want to go fast up this. 23. With dual motors, this would be a joke. All right. So I don't have my thermal camera out in front of me, but I would like to see, at least touch what the motor is like after that hill. Oh, that's not bad. I can keep my hand on this. Oh, that's great. That's warm, but I can keep my hand as long as I want. It's not even close to the limit. That's awesome. These huge Hentak motors can really handle a lot. All right, guys, so that's the end of the ride for now. We're gonna turn the camera off and let you guys know when we're headed back. All right, guys, so I had the battery resting for a couple minutes. Here's how you turn it on. So first you turn on the unit power pack battery. Looks like it says 62.6 volts. And now to connect that into the controller through the battery blender, we got two breakers. This one is from the other side and this one is right here. So one battery on, other battery on. Now we're getting power through the blender to the controller. And now we turn it on. There it is. And it says 62.7 volts. All right, we started at 439 miles. That's where we started at. Now we're at 462. 62 volts. All right, let's continue on. We'll probably go a little bit faster on the way back. Try and drain some more battery. So this next part is down that huge hill. I don't really want to go nuts down this hill. I'll probably hit 45 easy. Yeah, we're going like 43 already. The guy's giving me a crazy look. Back on the trail we go. Something interesting about these tires that I noticed is that when I'm turning, not too tight, but like decently tight, it almost feels like the tire, it almost feels like the wheel wants to turn itself, like it wants to lean into that turn even more. I don't know exactly what that is. If you guys have any experience with tires, let me know what you think that is, because I have no idea. We'll go a little faster on the way back, just because I want to get back to my house and work on some projects. I'm very lucky I have some time on the weekdays to do these kinds of rides. I know most people work 9 to 5s. My schedule is all over the place. So sometimes I have time in the weekday to enjoy the weather. Very lucky. Gives me a lot of freedom. Now I can book it going up this hill at 35 miles an hour. Try and use up some of this battery. All right, looks like we just crossed into the 59 volt range. We're sub 60 volts. Look at that, I can still pedal and get to 39 miles an hour, not even at full charge. Nice little turn. I feel like a little race car. I know there's some bumps and water on the road coming up. I don't want to get splashed. That's the downside of not having fenders. It looks cooler, but you will have a wet back if you go through water fast, or mud, and then you'll have a muddy back. You guys are probably like, well, if you had left the fenders on, you dingus, you wouldn't have to worry about it. I know. This is the price I have to pay. I think that's it. From what I remember, because that's the second time I had to go back through that part today, because I forgot my backpack earlier. God, that was terrible. Such a learning experience, this whole content creation thing is. I'll get better, don't you worry, we're already getting better. Different cameras, microphones, got a little studio set up. We've come a long way, guys. Alright, so we're at 28.25 miles. Battery is hovering at 60 volts. Jesus. And I'm pulling a lot of power. You guys see me, I'm not going slow. Right now, I've done this trip many times before, and if I were driving the way I were before, my battery right now would probably be at 25% on one battery. But 60 volts is, I think, like just over half, just over 50%. So that makes sense. Normally, this is where I would turn off and take a shortcut back home, take the shortest route. But we're doing a range test, so we are not doing that. I gotta say, I really don't use the pedal assist all that much, unless I'm going slow. Then the pedal assist becomes handy, because it controls how much power comes out. But if I'm not going slow, I'm going fast. At least when I'm by myself. There's no in between. Like right now, I just want to go full power. But I usually just leave it at pedal assist 1 for if I'm slowing down around pedestrians.
So since my battery died, let's jump right into the ending stats. After a 40-mile ride and letting the battery rest for a few minutes, the battery voltage for both batteries ended at 58 volts. So now let's take a look at the data from the ride. As you could see, it was just about 40 miles with an average speed of 22 miles an hour. It took me almost 2 hours to complete, maxing out my speed at 43 miles an hour. The speed was all over the place throughout the ride. As I mentioned, this was going to be mixed riding. Elevation also all over the place with a mixed range and a big hill in the middle where you see that spike. This is one of the reasons why it's so hard to give a number for the range of a particular e-bike, because there are so many variables that factor into the range, including rider weight, wind, weather, temperature, and obviously elevation and speed. Overall, the range expected from this dual battery system with mixed riding is about 60 miles. And of course, you'll get a lot more if you do a lot more pedaling and you go a lot slower. Hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching. Until next time.